Welcome! I'm excited about today's topic. I say that every week, I think, but today's going to be fun. Today's not going to be as much focusing on specific devices or products as much as we're going to talk about what place do devices have in the process of clearing our acne or for acne-prone skin. What kinds of technologies are helpful for you and what kinds of technologies are just not good for acne. What things to avoid, what things are okay, what things are really going to help your acne. And there's so much to cover, so let's start with the things to avoid. I think that's always kind of a fun topic. So first things first, I want to cover these. I know that some of you still have these devices in your cupboards. This business actually went out of business probably 5 years ago, maybe longer than that. Time flies by. I have no sense of time, so it could be longer than that. But this company was huge. Everyone had one of these devices for a while there. And even, this is some tea, way back, probably 15 years ago, when Art of Skincare first started, we were a tiny little facial studio. And Gina was doing facials, and she had a little bit of retail on her shelf. And she actually retailed these devices for a little while, but only for a specific type of person. And you might have guessed, but this device is the, I almost said Claire Blend, but it's not the Claire Blend, the Clarisonic brush. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the little handheld device, kind of like this, but shorter. But instead of this ultrasound plate here, it had a plastic brush, so plastic bristles, and they rotated. So it's not just that you were scrubbing your face with a brush, which is so cringe, but they were also rotating at the same time. And they came in different strengths. You could get like a softer brush head, or you could get a more intense scrubby brush head that was recommended for like the chest and the back. But they went out of business because people just really started to realize that these Clarisonic brushes are not good for the skin. They're also called rotary brushes, and well, there's probably still some SCs out there using them, but for probably like 10 plus years ago, maybe longer, it was actually popular for estheticians to have a rotary brush in their treatment room that they used on their patients, which is yucky to think about because it's very hard to disinfect those bristles because they're frayed, they're porous. It's just really rough on the skin. The main problem with Clarisonic brushes is that they are so rough on your skin barrier. They're just scrubbing the heck out of your skin, and they're going to lead to barrier issues. And if you have acne, they can actually spread bacteria because they can break open the skin where there's an open pustule or pimple and spread around that bacteria. It's really gnarly. So you've got a couple things going wrong with Clarisonic right off the start. We did retail them for a very short time, 15 plus years ago, but we really only sold them to oily teens where they really just were not washing their skin well enough. And it's really impossible to get someone skin clear when they're not washing their face as well as they should be washing it. So this was good for teen boys who, when they normally wash their face, they would just throw soap on, move it around a little bit, wash it off, whereas if you had the Claire Blend, you could actually tell them to sit there and work it in and cleanse their skin a little bit more. Sorry, not Claire Blend, I keep saying that, Clarisonic. But that was really the only group that we would recommend using the Clarisonic, and now we really don't even recommend it for them either. We just teach them to cleanse their skin better. So I wanted to start with my biggest acne device no-no. Please don't be using a rotary brush, any kind of cleansing device that has those plastic bristles. What you could use instead is you could use a device that has those very soft silicone bristles. So you've probably seen them out there, they sell them on Amazon. They're these very simple vibrating devices. Sometimes they have a little bit of ultrasonic. Ultrasonic is going to help with pulling debris out of the skin. It helps with skincare infusion as well. So you can get those simple devices, but still you really don't want to brush hard, and you want to make sure that they're very soft bristles because you just don't want to be over cleansing your skin. If you're over stripping your skin, it's not a good day. I know that we have a video coming up soon on busted skin barriers. And that's where you're headed if you use one of those really rough brushes. So let's see, we're probably going to touch on a couple more devices that I don't approve as we kind of go through today, but I quickly want to touch on what kinds of devices are going to work well for acne, and that kind of goes, we need to jump back into what is acne, how is it forming. So the main components of acne are that the pore is getting clogged with dead skin cells, and there is bacteria in there that is breeding and growing. It feeds off of oxygen and sebum, and it also can be influenced by hormones, as our hormones excrete different types of sebum in our pores. So the main components for clearing acne is exfoliating away the dead skin cells that are clogging and covering up that pore, and then killing that bacteria. And you can kill that bacteria with acids, and you can kill it with oxygen as well. That's why we use benzoyl peroxide. So with that understanding, we want to think about cleansing the pore and killing bacteria. So cleansing, it makes you think, oh, a Clarisonic, that would be great. But you don't want something that's going to be really stripping the skin. You can use something that gently boosts cleansing. Something like that silicone ultrasound little cleansing brush, or you can go for a bigger upgrade. I know you guys have seen Gina talk about it a lot. We have the Wave. The Wave uses ultrasound to cleanse as well as infuse your serums, but it's not rough and scratchy. It's very, very soft. You do get the added bonus of LED with this device, but I would say it's not a huge dose of LED. It's kind of just like the LED is a nice little booster to have while you're doing everything else that you do with this device. But if you really want to go for LED, we'll talk about LED in a minute. So really using a cleansing device that is really going to help your cleanser do a good job of breaking down the oil barrier on your skin, breaking down the dead skin cells that can be clogging your pores, so that your next step after that, which is going to be killing the bacteria, can happen a lot quicker and a lot better. And we can keep that process moving. So the way that I like to do this is I put my cleanser all over. If you like to do a dry cleanse, which is where you start with dry skin, you would put your cleanser on dry skin, massage all around, then add water and suds it up, then go in with your Wave. The Wave really does require a lot of slip, so some of my favorite cleansers to use with this is like foam cleansers that have a nice thick foam to them. This also works actually very nicely with the new creamy cleanser from Face Reality, surprisingly. Usually I wouldn't use this with an oil cleanser. Creamy cleansers are different though. Creamy cleansers are still water-based, they just are creamy. And that cleanser has like so much squish and slip to it that it feels really good with this cleansing device. So those are a few of my favorites. The foam cleanser that I like is the Pure Herb Cleansing Foam, Caviar Cleansing Foam. I can never remember the name of that one. That has the squishiest, thickest foam. And if your cleanser starts to dry down while you're still using your device, because you want to use this for 2 minutes, you just splash a little water and just continue on, and it'll keep sudsing up. So really love this device. You use it for cleansing and infusing. When you get it, it comes with a little manual, and you'll learn how to hit the different settings to learn how to put it into infuse mode and how to use it in cleansing mode. So this is a really great upgrade from something more simple like an ultrasonic silicone brush. So that is our cleansing step. When it comes to exfoliating, there's another device that I want to call out as being really harmful, and I've seen the aftermarks from devices like this before, and it is the pore vacuums and the home microdermabrasion devices with suction. So they're kind of different. So the pore vacuum is just a little handheld device with a little nose, and it just sucks. It's like a tiny little vacuum for your pores, and you run it around your pores to pull gunk out. The problem with these suction devices is that suction is pulling at your skin and causing damage. This can stretch out your pores. This can cause little broken capillaries, and I've seen this before. I had a client who loved to use this home suction machine, and she ended up with broken capillaries on her chin and on her nose where the skin is a little bit thinner. And so that is really the danger when you use suction. There are some professional devices out there that use suction, like hydrofacial, some wet microdermabrasion devices, but those are being operated by a professional who is making sure that your skin is taut, that your skin is properly prepped, and that's going to give you a very different effect than just going at it with a little home vacuum. The other version of that is very similar, except they've also added those little diamond tips. So it's a diamond tip with suction, and I've seen red track marks left behind from those devices because they're just too harsh, and a lot of people just don't know how to use them properly. And it is hard to use them properly because those little hand devices are not calibrated very well. And again, you're just going to end up with those broken capillaries. You can get stretched out skin, stretched out pores. It's not good. You want to be gently exfoliating your acne. If you have inflamed acne, those devices are just going to really just flame it up, because that is another key part of acne, is that inflammation. But if you are properly exfoliating away the dead skin cells, killing that bacteria, the inflammation will subside on its own. So we want to focus on exfoliating those dead skin cells, killing the bacteria. So that brings us to the LightStim. The LightStim is blue LED. Blue LED is actually proven by science, really good science. In many studies, it is shown to kill acne-causing bacteria. So it is a very, very cool device and technology. It's FDA approved. It has become very, very popular. Even on TikTok, you see the blue LED devices. But there's a couple of things that you just want to look for when you're picking out a device. So, I've been seeing a lot of them now. There's a lot of blue spot treatments. So you'll see them in the form of a light one, which looks like a little skinny, almost like a little pen with a round circle at the end with one bulb. Or there's also little LED patches that you can put over your breakouts. And these are fine as long as they're really cheap, because they should be. If they only have a couple of bulbs on them, these should be $50 or less, because when you only have a couple bulbs like that, it's not an expensive product, and it's not going to prevent acne. Those you can use to spot treat a pimple that's already there. And yeah, it's gonna help kill bacteria. It'll help bring some inflammation down to help that breakout heal. But where LED shines is that it actually prevents acne. It keeps that acne from coming up at all, which is what we really all want. We don't want to be stuck always treating the acne after it comes up. We want to prevent it. So to prevent acne with blue LED, you have to treat your whole face. You have to treat every area of your face that is prone to breakouts. So for that reason, I like the full face masks or a handheld with a good radius. Let me just show you the LightStim real quick. This is the one that we have. So you have this whole radius, so you can really move around and treat the whole acne-prone area. I like that this one is very reasonably priced. A lot of the full face masks are quite expensive, and if they're not super expensive, then they might not be calibrated correctly. So always double check. You want it to be around 430, 440, 420 nm wavelength. That is the wavelength that is clinically proven to work on the acne bacteria. So just be sure you're getting a good device. Make sure it's got a good warranty. You just don't want to be wasting your time by putting just a cheap device on your face, because that is the next part of this device. And this is the tricky part, is that blue LED must be done almost daily until you start to see results. So you're going to be using this device every morning or every night, 5 days a week for the first 2 months. And then you can start to reel back to 2 to 3 times a week. But if you're going to buy a LightStim, if you're going to use actually any blue technology, if you're going to use blue light therapy or red light therapy of any kind, you have to be ready to commit to it. Otherwise, it's just going to be a waste of your time and your hard-earned money. So that's kind of the tricky thing about LED. You have to be really ready to commit. Another thing about LED is you can't just use LED and no skincare. The LED is not going to be helping exfoliate all those dead skin cells that are clogging up the pore. They can go in there and they can kill the bacteria, but if you have all these dead skin cells clogging up your skin, you're still going to have a major issue on your hands. So that kind of leads me to another thing that I wanted to mention today, and that's that really skincare devices aren't our first weapon that we would bring to fight acne. There's a lot of really cool devices out there, including blue light, that are clinically proven to help with acne. But no device is going to replace skincare when it comes to acne. Skincare is the weapon of choice. It's what works the best for clearing acne. You can boost your results, you can get clear a little faster with devices, but if there's a device out there that is promising you that this is the only thing you're ever gonna need for the rest of your life, then it's probably BS, because there is just no device for acne specifically that can replace anything else like skincare. So, hot take on that. I do want to mention, because people always ask, is about red light. Does red light help with acne as well? Because there are so many red light devices out there. So red light does not kill bacteria like blue light does, but red light is healing and anti-inflammatory. So red light is beneficial for acne-prone skin, but it's not going to be the thing that clears your skin. So there are a lot of devices out there that have both. Blue LED and red. The LightStim also has both. So when you turn on the LightStim, it looks purple because it has red and blue. So you're getting the anti-inflammatory, you're getting the healing. It's just really helpful. Okay, the other devices that I've been seeing all around TikTok, so many cheap devices. But I've been seeing a lot of devices that are used for massage. A lot of really nice gua sha tools out there. I don't want to say they're all cheap, but there's also some little cheap gua sha stones that people are using, or they're using those little jade rollers. Those jade rollers aren't doing anything, you guys. If anything, they're just getting bacteria on them and you're rolling it around your face. It's really, don't do that. Gua sha, on the other hand, is a really cool massage technique that started in China. It is all about draining the lymph. And so a lot of people feel that draining your lymph and facial massage is very helpful for acne, but it's going to depend on your acne type. If you have very inflamed, severe acne, moderate to severe acne, you're really not going to want to do any kind of really stimulatory massage, because that can actually make your skin more inflamed and worse. You can also potentially be spreading bacteria around your face as well. So if that's the case, you want to just do much more gentle lymphatic drainage. So instead of really going in and using those tools to do all the scraping, using lots of pressure, just do very gentle drainage movements during your cleansing routine. So when you're doing your cleansing routine, you can really just do simple drainage movements, not pressing too hard with your knuckles. Just think about bringing lymph out and down, and you can use your knuckles to just gently drain down. If you're not breaking out in your neck, then you can use a little more pressure and gently drain. You don't need a really intense device on your skin if your skin is really breaking out. Just gentle movements to bring that lymph out and down. If you have less severe acne, maybe you're just acne prone and you just get breakouts here and there, then those devices are totally fine for you and they're not going to cause issues. But this is more for those really severe, moderate severe acne types. You want to be very gentle when you're doing massage. What you can do is, if you have the TriWave at home, or if it's something you're interested in, the TriWave has a lymphatic drainage setting. So you can actually get gentle lymphatic drainage from using the TriWave without having to aggressively rub on your face and do aggressive massage. So this is another really great option devices-wise. It's not the MyoLift's true purpose in life. This device is really for building collagen in the skin, firming the skin, smoothing wrinkles. But that lymphatic drainage setting, if you have this at home and maybe you have a teen with acne, once a week, do a passive treatment, put the sheet mask on their face, and then set this to do a 20-minute session on the Rejuve, which is the lymphatic drainage setting, and that can be a game changer. So I wanted to mention that device as well. I want to mention things like RF, not so good for acne. Active acne can be very inflamed and irritated by doing in-office or at-home RF treatments. Another device that I see people use a lot is the little home microneedling stamps. I've seen people using the electric ones at home, which I'm like, where are they getting these? These are very aggressive products. But doing those aggressive microneedling stamps on active acne, every time I see that, I just want to hold their hand and say, please, please don't do that to your skin. That is spreading bacteria. It is bringing inflammation directly into an inflamed place. Remember that when we are doing microneedling, we are choosing to bring a little bit of inflammation to the skin because it's just part of the process when you are rebuilding the skin using microneedling. Personally, I try to keep microneedling down to just a couple times a year because of that inflammatory response. And a lot of people with active inflammatory acne want to try microneedling, but it's really not a helpful device to use. You want to stick with things that are a lot more gentle than that because you have that inflammation going on in your skin. So that's another device. The biggest one though that I see is there's like this $300 blue LED device that is just a wand with one bulb at the end. So you can only treat spots. And then it's just completely wasting the benefits of LED, because the benefit of LED is you can prevent the acne from coming up at all. And that is the goal. But if your device can only treat acne that's already popped up, like that's just, it makes me sad. That's a sad device. But yeah, most devices out there really marketed towards wrinkles and fine lines, and there's not as many devices out there for acne. And a lot of the devices out there are a little bit on the iffy side. I think it's really hard. It's really sad that there's just a lot of companies that prey on the insecurities of those who have acne. Those who have acne really sometimes it feels like you're just like, I'm willing to try anything. And so there's a lot of crappy products, and it's a bummer. All right, everyone, I think we've reached the end. Definitely reach out to customer service, reach out to me if you have any other questions about devices. I will be back again next week. Next week, I'll have a very special guest. I have Alex Hernandez from Face Reality coming on, and we're going to talk all about acne, the skin barrier, and the new creamy cleanser that launched a couple of weeks ago. So I will see you all then. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Bye, everyone.